Delaware in the building. Y'all ain't ready for the Delaware takeover. Y'all not ready for this unique style and creativity that everybody in the world wants to see. Nas and Jay is bringing it, and everything they bring got that Delaware swag.
What are you laughing at?
You don't hear yourself talking down there again? That's what I'm laughing at. But
oh, my stomach.
Yeah. Hey, everybody.
Hey, everybody. Good morning. I'm hungry. Okay. Welcome to your morning sip of local news. What's happening and
real world mess.
You got it. Look at you.
I've gotten it like for a month in a row. I got it locked in the old beam.
You have. Make sure you listen back to this episode on Thursdays and Saturdays on WJBSradio.com, Delaware's own Grown Folks Radio. And right now, if you go to your app store and you type in WJVS Radio, you can get the app. And also, Dad just called me and said that they got a whole bunch of listeners over the last 2 months.
Great.
And I would like to say that it is because of us and my excellent advertising skills. So if you want to advertise with Naj and Jay, you might get 2 more followers.
Exactly.
Oh God. So yeah, go get that app and listen back to the show. Flowers. So can I just say, I love Aubrey. I really do. He's amazing.
Yeah. So our first, set of flowers go to the great Aubrey Everett. He is the music teacher at the Gateway Lab School, and he brought me in last week to sing with his chorus. I led What's Going On, and it was a really good time, obviously. But there was a whole spring concert, and over the course of that concert, you saw a steel band, you saw a rock band, you saw a drum circle, you saw a traditional choir, and a couple of soloists. And over the course of all of those different performances, you see Mr. Everett go from keys to drums to guitar, and even the kids, especially in the rock band, I'm going to give you guys some snippets. Even the kids were switching instruments in the rock band and playing and singing. And it was tremendous. It was a fun time, and it was really amazing. It's really amazing to see what a truly gifted musician and educator can do with young people. The man is a treasure, and I wanted to make sure that we give him some flowers. I already posted on my page one of the videos just of me doing what I did, but I want to show you guys just a couple of snippets from the concert in terms of what else was going on. So first, we're going to start with, load this one up first. I think I'll show you guys first. Well, yeah, this is the rock band. So hold on, let me get this one set up for you. So hold tight. This is his rock band performing Everyday People. So apparently that video came up black. I hope you could hear it at least, because I heard the audio.
Yeah,
I'm not sure why that happened. I'm going to try to pull up one more, and if it comes up black again, I'll just stop it. But you know, I guess you could clearly hear it. But there was a small band of kids, like a little 5-piece, playing Everyday People. I'm gonna pull up this other one. I'm kind of worried about this now, because that hasn't happened before. But let me pull up one more video. This is the Steel Band. Here we go. And you know, you'll at least recognize the tune. So hopefully the video comes up too. Yeah. Yeah.
Switcher, you.
No, but in terms of the still shots, that comes from there. I'm not sure why these videos aren't playing. I apologize. But again, listen, you could at least hear a little bit of what they're going. That was the Steel Band.
Did you post them on your page?
No, but I will. I'll
Okay.
post those 2 videos on the Naj and Jay page, and you'll be able to see them. We'll tag the school.
Yeah.
But you know, flowers to Mr. Aubrey, to Mr. Everett, I should say, for what he is doing with those kids and has done for years. So he's a local gem, and that's all I can say about that.
He really is.
Yeah.
Flowers to Joy Eames.
Yes. So Joy Eames is a close friend of the family, and I'm trying to give the whole story to give you guys perspective. Actually, her husband, and when I actually did a podcast with him when I was doing the Sit Down podcast right in the middle of COVID. I sat down with him, and he gave us a whole lot of information and just knowledge about the COVID vaccine and what COVID is like, blah, blah, blah. So he's a really great ER doctor down in Lewis. His wife, Joy Eames, she was a teacher, a school teacher, I think middle school, I believe, also down there, maybe at Cape, I don't know what school, but she was a middle school teacher. And she basically stopped teaching when she started having kids because it's a whole lot to do. And fortunately, you know, her husband is a doctor and allowed her the freedom to be able to really concentrate on being a mom. But she said, you know what? This isn't all that I want to do. And actually, to the point of the graduation speech that we're going to talk about, you know, there's the idea that that man brought up, saying that once you have your family, everything stops. And that's your biggest joy. And if that is your biggest joy, great. But she retired from teaching, has raised kids up to a certain point, but she still got some young ones. She said, you know what? I want to do more with my life. She went to law school and just graduated from law school, and is about to be a lawyer. And I know for a fact that the kind of law that she's going to do is really just for the purpose of helping people out. I'm not going to give her whole story in terms of what she has kind of, you know, coming up, but she really went to law school out of a general passion for the law and for helping people. And I'm super excited to see what she's going to do with her degree. And it's just super admirable to see someone put in that kind of work. And I'm pretty sure she graduated like very close to the top of her class. And to do that as a mom at home, because let's be honest, being at home with the kids all day is honestly harder than going to work. It's harder than going to work. So for her to pull that off, to drive back and forth to Wilmington from Lewis all the time to get the classes done, super impressive, super proud of you, and just want to give you flowers for that. Yeah.
Okay.
Mm-hmm.
So I also want to give us flowers because we're into our 3rd year.
Okay.
And we started a spot fund campaign to raise money for our events this year. If you would like to give, I put the link for our spot fund campaign in our comments. You can go there. Whatever you can give is great. If not, if you could share the page, that would be amazing. And thank you to the people who have already given.
Mm-hmm.
All right.
I got more flowers.
Oh, excuse me.
No, it's okay.
Go ahead.
No. The other person, what's the name of the Morehouse brother? What's that?
That's a share the love.
What's the on there? The Morehouse brother.
D'Angelo Fletcher.
D'Angelo Fletcher, and we're going to dig into this a little bit more. But at Morehouse had their graduation ceremonies yesterday, and D'Angelo Fletcher, sorry, is the class valedictorian for this year, and he spoke. And I just wanted to personally give him flowers for making the comment, which was that he demands a ceasefire in Gaza in that setting.
Oh, I saw that.
And that's a big deal because we'll probably dig into it a little bit later. But if you have been paying attention, Biden spoke at Morehouse, and there was concern about how he would be received because a lot of students weren't happy with his presence at graduation for a lot of different reasons. And one of the biggest reasons is they are very dissatisfied with how our country has been aiding the war in Gaza. And you can have your own personal opinion about that. I certainly have mine. And for a valedictorian to take the stage under that kind of scrutiny in that setting with the president literally standing behind you to say, Mr. President, right now, this is what I believe, and I'm going to state it boldly, is really impressive. And I guess that kind of speaks to what a valedictorian will be. But I really wanted to give flowers to that young man for having the courage and moral fortitude, honestly, to stand there and say his mind, speak his mind in a very articulate manner. Right.
Yes. This brought up something that I wanted to talk about really quickly. And we briefly talked about this before, but we never got into it. And long story short, so y'all know I went overseas. I went to Abu Dhabi, and the UAE in the Middle East, the religion is primarily Islam, right? So when I was preparing to go over there, I was looking at blogs and YouTube videos of other people's experience being out there, specifically Black women. And a lot of what I read and saw in the videos terrified me. There were a lot of, they're aggressive people. You can't look men in the eye. You can't wear spaghetti straps. And if you're not Muslim or if you don't practice Islam, you have to be quiet and like you have to be very respectful. Like there were a lot of things that I read that scared the crap out of me being there. So I got there and it was nothing like what I read. And when I say this, I mean it like genuinely. It was like being in a tropical Delaware. Like it was very suburban, tons of families.
And you said a lot of flesh out, like a lot of showing all the parts.
Oh yeah, there was parts showing. Okay, it was like Delaware with hijabs, and I can't remember what the.
But all the people who aren't from there and who aren't Muslim were still just as they are,
but the
right?
people who were Muslim, like there were families where the husband or the father was wearing like the traditional throbe, and then his wife or his daughters would be wearing regular clothes.
Oh, okay.
And it was with makeup and hair out and all of it.
Oh, wow. Okay, cool.
So, and then while also being over there for that extended time, I got to see them speaking to other people and within their families and seeing them act, how they act throughout the day. And this just really briefly popped into my head.
Okay, yeah.
The connection is that I've been trying to read more about the whole Gaza and the ceasefire and all, because I'm still very confused about it. I'm still trying to learn and understand like what is this about, because it's scary to me. I get that.
Okay, sorry.
Jesus. So what I'm saying is we have to stop. I saw some comments online basically like attacking people for their stance. And if you're not educated about the situation, it's best to just keep your mouth shut. And this man is very well educated on this. And for him to stand up and do that was a big deal. And I feel like there are a lot of people who have big mouths who are not educated on this topic, nor are they educated about people on the other side of the world. And their their view is from here only. So I just wanted to applaud him for that, because he obviously has done the work for him to stand 10 toes down and be able to stand there and say, this is what I feel and what I believe, and to do it in front of so many people. So,
and the funniest part was after that, if you watch Biden, is he actually co-signed what he said, which is even more kind of impressive. So, man,
Yeah.
flowers to that young man.
So, yeah, there's that. Okay. Let's just get right into it.
Okay.
Right into it.
Which one are we getting into? Yeah, go ahead.
I want to talk about Butchback first.
Oh.
That's what I want to talk about.
Okay.
I'll talk
Butchback.
Bleach
blonde.
Butchback
No,
built.
that's wrong. Hold on. Bleach, blonde, bed built, butch body.
Yes. Okay.
I feel like I'm going to get in trouble for saying that, but go ahead.
So, should we do I be Crockett and you be Green? And we read the what happened?
Oh, do you have the whole transcript in
Yes,
front of
I
you?
do. No.
Okay. I was going to say.
So,
I should be Green.
this whole thing, the reason we got to Beach Blonde,
it's so bad,
Butchback,
though.
body, or
the
whatever,
whole thing is bad.
the reason we got there is because Green attacked Crockett first. Okay. You are in a professional setting.
Oh, God.
You are supposed to be professional. You are supposed to be using words and phrases and
Well, just fundamentally, you're not supposed to be on the floor of Congress or the Senate talking about someone's eyelashes.
you're not. You can talk trash, but not in that manner.
No, not even trash. Really,
And
we're
to
talking
think-
about policy.
And to think that she was gonna get away with it,
Because she's used to that.
not with this girl.
She's used to being able to make somebody just kind of,
Listen.
insult, and then you keep it moving. Nah, you're not bullying over
When
here.
AOC went with the baby girl, I thought it ended there.
No,
Baby girl.
no.
When
You
that
have
happened,
now
I was like,
awakened all of the brown and black. Like
everybody was woken up.
Like
All the eyelashes was
like,
open.
like, why would you do that to yourself? Like,
But
yep.
see, the problem was they gave her time to come up with that brilliant
bars.
that brilliant comeback.
I called it the obliteration.
It
You know
was.
what I'm
It
saying?
was an alliteration. You gave that woman time. Not only is she educated, not only is she a black woman, but then you gave her time.
Yeah, but like, the way that she delivered
She a
it,
homegirl.
she also has talent.
Listen.
Like,
Y'all messed up.
depending on the personality, you might have gotten a response that was very, academic or very intelligent, but she
Listen.
just gave us a
She
straight
just went.
6-word torching.
Listen, and,
Like-
and on top of that, she, knowing that she is a butch built, big back body,
This is funny.
like
Yeah.
knowing that she is that, because she look in the mirror every day. But you come at a woman's eyelashes knowing you barely got some. Like, you can't throw insults that you can't take. If you can't take it, don't dish it.
That's a great point.
Like, you came at something that you struggle with,
Yeah.
honey.
It's a classic glass. Don't throw stones.
Oh my
If you
God.
live in a glass house, like, it's just a terrible idea, and she got smoked badly.
Listen,
and deservedly.
and this is how beautiful it was. She said Crockett was asking for clarification. She was asking for clarification.
Yeah.
That's how you do it, baby.
Yeah.
That's how you do it.
Yeah.
That was
No, it was brilliant, and it was like, I can't think of a better and more just efficient roast.
yes.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And it was just right to the point. Cut you.
Yep.
Like, that is clearly a woman that nobody ever wants smoke with.
No.
Because
No.
you're just going to get verbally
No.
abused when you deserve it.
It felt like a political rap battle in that moment. And like,
yeah.
all I could hear was, and for the fake eyelashes, I was like, I heard the But then when
Yeah, but like, what kind of, like, so like,
Big
if she was an
back
MC, like, because and that's kind of my point. So that was a hit 'em up style one. You know what I'm saying? Pac got right to the point, like, bam, 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 knocked out, just smashed you. It wasn't like Kendrick Lamar. But listen, I get it, great, but that was there was a lot to it, a lot of different layers. There was no layers.
it
was just
I think her
boom.
response. I think her response was more Kendrick than it was.
Oh, I
anything.
totally disagree.
Because
It was too
number
to
one,
the
the
Kendrick
alliteration-
never just gets to the point.
alliteration,
No,
there's an
now
art
we
to
have
that. There's an art to
but
that.
that's rap.
Then you're reading her. You are
No,
completely
she
reading her.
got right to the point. Kendrick has never gotten right to the point in his whole life. It has to be a whole, like, he has 6 songs. Okay.
She asked for clarification, so she had to get there.
So
somehow.
she is from that generation where we're going to throw a little bit more intellectualism there, but she just went right for the jugular. Kendra gives you a build up, an intro, an outro.
She did. She said,
"Man, she did a quick warm up and then just went bow."
Point of order.
Man, no, but I hear you.
Listen,
she hit him up.
I would love to see what other notes.
It wasn't even ether. It was just like right at your neck. It was just like complete.
I want to know what her notes were on that. Like, did she have them lined up? That was just number one.
I feel like wherever the notes are, if they were written down, that they should be, saved and documented and hung up in the halls of Congress as just, this battle was lost here on this day in America.
We need a Crockett versus Green.
No, we don't. It's not going. Right.
Like, I need something to memorialize this.
Aleem, draw us a painting,
like
bro.
Mississippi Brawl.
Aleem, draw us a mini painting of it, please.
Make sure you get the big back.
Right.
In the picture.
Mm-hmm. But it wasn't big back. You got to get her bar straight.
I love that term, big back.
That's. I can't. Notice I haven't really said these things because as a man, I know that I can't say anything. I'm just going to sit back and enjoy it. One more time.
Just to better understand your ruling, if someone on this committee then starts talking about somebody's bleach blonde, bad built, bush body, would that not be engaging personalities? Correct?
Bing, bam, bing, bam, bam, bam. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6.
Oh, and they said the exchange derailed the meeting for nearly an hour.
As well, it should have. It's even derailed our TV show. Plain and simple. So,
BB.
Listen.
In 6 words, she broke that woman down.
Bam, 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 bam.
Somebody said she looked like a retired wrestler.
I can't say these things because you will never hear me. You will never see me as a male being on camera making fun of a female's physical appearance. Not my space. But listen, I can sit back and watch them dish it out.
Take it, don't dish it. And she's probably at home right now looking at herself like,
I am a bleach blonde, bad built butch body.
Woo!
This is how you treat bullies.
That's how you do it, honey.
Mm-hmm.
And then Jasmine Crockett was on, was it CNN or ABC? I don't know, something. And she was talking about, I do not regret it. I stand 10 toes down, baby. That's it.
She came. Yep.
Oh, exactly.
Mm-hmm.
Now,
I always tell my children, don't start it, but if you have to end it right to the point and make it happen quick and go extra hard. That's all. Yep.
And she did it without cussing. That's intelligence right there. Because
bars.
But
that's my point.
There was some F's and some B's.
No, she kept her cool.
Woo!
Efficiency,
baby.
Verbal efficiency.
Okay, can you pull up the?
Yeah, I hope it plays. But
Terrence
yes,
Howard.
Absolutely. All right, y'all, get ready for this nonsense.
So Terrence Howard was on the Joe Rogan podcast, and Joe Rogan asked him a very simple question. Very simple question.
This man is special. Here we go. Please work. Hold tight.
How did you get started with all this? I didn't come into this world the way everybody else does, I don't think. I used to think that everybody had the similar experience, but like if I asked you, what was your first memory in life? What would it be?
I don't think I know.
My first memory was almost like when you're dreaming and you're falling and you hit the bottom and you wake up.
Mm-hmm.
That was my first memory, but I didn't wake up here. I was inside my mother's womb.
I mean,
so
he's one of them people. You can't just have a straight conversation with.
Funny enough,
oh no.
Years ago when I was in high school, or like just coming out of high school, Terrence Howard came to speak at, I think it was the Black Achievers Conference or something. There was a big awards thing at the Chase Center, and he came to speak. Mind you, we are in a room full of teenagers. not a room full of teenagers, but there was a significant amount of teenagers
Okay.
between like 14 and college.
Sure.
And his speech, I lie to you not, was about how the 3 million sperm of your father helped the one sperm that created you get to the egg that ultimately made you. And I remember being in that room so uncomfortable.
I don't want to think about my dad's sperm ever.
Uncomfortable. I'm telling you, he stood there 10 toes down on that speech and kept saying the word sperm. And I'm looking at my mom.
Like, make it stop. Can we leave?
My mom was like this.
Yeah. Yeah. This guy's a space cadet.
The amount of times that I've seen interviews of him with these wild, he was even talking about what invisibility cloaks.
I mean, but so, you know, he's clearly far out. And he's also a really good actor.
He's a great, outstanding.
Right? So
outstanding.
I feel like that's just one of those traits that often comes with people who are outliers. You know what I mean? Like there are some brilliant actors who you could like, you know, Chadwick Boseman.
Yeah.
A brilliant actor who you could also talk to like a human.
Yes.
But
yes.
He's still an extreme person.
Yes.
And so this is often what, I mean, how many artists do we know who are just like, and I recognize, we talk about this a lot.
You can see it in the eyes.
Number one, but I recognize, we've talked about this, how perspectives shift, because when I'm around artists, I'm like the normal guy, right? But when I'm around like my brother and his friends, I'm the weirdo artist. But like my whole point is that, you know, artists are just different as it is. And I'm on the very normal side of that spectrum. And so he's on the other. That's okay.
I watched that clip like 12 times. I was like,
right. But imagine we're sitting here interviewing him. And like,
hey,
I
Jay,
wonder
where did it all begin?
Well, I remember, it's really strange, man. Yeah, the first memory I had, it was like I just woke up and I felt a thud. And I was inside my mom's womb.
Like, does he practice this in a mirror, you think?
No, I think that
I think all of his stuff is a monologue, because I feel like all of his stuff is a monologue.
I don't know at all, but it wouldn't surprise me if he meant that from the bottom of his soul. I don't think he knew that was a prepared question. You know what I'm saying?
What's your earliest memory?
That's a good question.
My earliest memory is my mom telling me that my sister Tori was in her belly and she's in our dining room, and I kissed my mom's belly. Okay.
My earliest.
So I had to be like, I was 3, about to be 4.
I feel like this. Maybe I shouldn't say this. It's not that bad though. I feel like I was maybe 2 or so. I remember being at our first apartment with my mom and my dad, and I remember sitting on my dad's lap, and he was drinking a beer, and I could smell the beer. Yeah. Michelob, boy. So.
But you don't remember being in your mom's womb?
No. Do you?
No.
Okay, so I'm not the.
I was dropped off by a stork. My parents didn't do anything but pray for me, and then I was delivered by
exactly, and I was delivered by Santa Claus. So let's be clear, man.
Just putting that out.
That's
there.
why for a long
time.
time.
But according to Terrence Howard, the 3 million sperm helped to make the.
And I support far out people like that. But it's just hard to be around them for a long time because the conversation would be too far. Like I would be very interested in his commentary for about 45 minutes, and then I'm done.
He seems like the person that would make even if I asked him, do you like cheddar or provolone? And he would be the one to dive into how both are made and how the cows.
And we both know some people like that. You ask them a simple question and you get a very complicated response. And it's like, never mind. I'm never going to win this fight.
I'm good.
Signing out.
I'm good on that.
Yep. So fine. That's you. That's cool. Thank you.
Oh, God. Okay.
Should we go left or right? Well,
the origin of the left and the right.
Left is 180, and this is at 360. So what if we had an angle in between? No, wait.
Let's just stop.
Okay.
Let's just stop there.
Yeah.
So you want to talk about Usyk and Fury?
So yeah, there was an extremely high level, great heavyweight boxing match for the undisputed title, and there hasn't been an undisputed heavyweight champion since the 90s, I believe, like early 2006, and it was Lennox Lewis, the British champion,
Lennox Lewis,
who is an all-time great
That
heavyweight
sounds like
boxer.
like a villain.
He's the nicest guy.
Oh.
He's the nicest guy. He's got this he's big black guy. He had these really
Why
cool
did you get
dreadlocks.
louder when you said that? Do you feel like you have to be loud to say big black guy? You weren't that loud when you said big back, butch, built.
You got that. I have no response. You win. You win. You win that. So I'll be very quiet about the big black guy. No, but the nicest guy and wildly skilled. He's got this really like his voice, even his speaking voice is kind of gentle and super British, like the nicest guy. Lennox Lewis. Lennox Lewis.
Do I?
You probably recognize him, and he speaks wonderfully. He's absolutely he's a brilliant man with a wonderful affect. No, he's a brown skinned dude. He looks terrifying,
Okay.
and he's just the nicest guy.
He's a gentle giant.
He's a total gentle giant. Like seems like the nicest person. But you had the Ukrainian Alexander Usyk against the Gypsy King. Hailing from Great Britain, Tyson Fury. And if you follow boxing, you already know, but for those of you who don't, Tyson Fury is huge. He's like 6'9". He's got these wildly long arms, and Usyk is the much smaller guy who actually came up from a lower weight class and has just been dominated. So the question was, obviously, who's going to win?
And how much did they win?
That's a good question. I'm going to say that Tyson probably came in, he has to be a good 250, 260. And Usyk is much smaller, maybe 230. He's a smaller guy. And
that's small. That's
in comparison.
And then some.
So long story short is the smaller man won the fight in a beautiful boxing match. And they both fought their tails off. They both took some serious punishment. But it was so cool to see this smaller man just pitbulling this giant human being. Like he's supposed to be the one backing up, and the tall guy is supposed to be using his distance to keep the smaller man at bay. And in the same way, kind of as Mike Tyson, he would just slip and move in quickly and get off these shots that were just unbelievable. And he almost knocked him out. Fury was saved by the bell, but it was a beautiful fight. And for the first time in decades, we have an undisputed heavyweight champion. And, respect to Usyk because he's such the opposite of Fury, not only in terms of his build, but in terms of his personality. He's basically a robot. He doesn't really say a lot. Yes, he doesn't say a lot. He's just, even in the weigh-ins, he just kind of staring at you like, yeah, you can do all these antics. But when it's fight time, I'm literally here for the duration of the fight. And it was super cool to see. And, I'm sure that, especially with all that's going on in the Ukraine, that they have their hero now, and it's justified. It was a really great fight, and from what I gather, Usyk seems like a good man and obviously a great fighter. So it was really cool.
Yeah. All right.
Yeah.
Okay, I've been kind of dreading having this conversation, but here we are. So we all were able. I'm pretty sure everyone has seen it. We were all able to view the video of Diddy pulverizing Cassie. Real quick, I want you to put that up now.
I'll put it up now? Okay.
For anyone watching, if you or anyone is dealing with domestic violence, please call this number or have them text that number. Okay, it's straight up on the screen. Good. Domestic violence is no joke. I have had experiences where I've known people, seen things, and my first instinct is to help, reach out and help or tell. And I know a lot of stories.
Everyone seems to know a lot of stories.
Yeah, and I don't know why. Unfortunately, we go through this. It seems like every year there's a big story that comes out where everyone hears about or knows about so-and-so beating on so-and-so. And everyone's surprised.
To the point where this video, I mean, I saw on my feed, triggered a lot of people.
It was very triggering.
Justifiably.
It was very, very triggering on many levels. I really sat with it for a second, trying to figure out like where I wanted to attack it, because I have never been beat up. Never been beat up. Thank God. I have known women who have been beat up. I've seen the remnants of a really bad brawl between spouses. I guess my first like real point is you are not alone. No matter what you're going through, you are not alone. There is always going to be someone you can reach out to find help, whether it's a close friend, a spiritual leader. Shoot, it could be somebody that your kids, a parent of a kid that your kid plays with, you know, that you happen to meet up with all the time. Anybody could be a source of help, but the first thing is knowing that you're not by yourself and that you can find a way out. The second thing is know when you are helping the person do that harm. Like, there are people who are enablers and they don't even realize it. And I've seen that too. There are a lot of people, like, for instance, if you want to focus specifically on this video, the people who saw this video, and because apparently he bought it from the hotel, and they found this in the raid. Wow. Okay. So he paid them off. I don't know if that's true, but somebody in that hotel heard or saw or knew of what was going on, because you're in a hotel. There were people in the rooms. There are the security camera. So somebody's viewing the security footage. There is a manager. There is, you know, somebody knew. And for no one to speak up on that woman's behalf, not even if she decided she wasn't going to press charges, even if she denied it, the fact that y'all knew and nobody said anything to help her or to at least alert the authorities is disgusting. And there are people on levels where we stand who do the same exact thing. You've seen the fist fights in the cars in the parking lot at the grocery store. You've seen the fights at the parties and at the club, and people running out of their house, you know, trying to get away from their man or from their woman, from, you know, knocking them up beside the head. We have seen it all, and yet there are times when people really just don't say nothing.
I think that the two things that are sticking in my brain right now are, number one, the saddest part about it, or one of the sad parts about it, is that Diddy is one of many. Yes. He's not the only one by any stretch of the imagination. And for me, the more that someone has been doing this for a long time to people, and the more that person is well known, that tells me that there are even more people who are aware of it and never said anything. Mm-hmm. Obviously, the abuser is never going to like admit that he's the abuser and turn himself in. And obviously, the person being abused is going to be terrified to say anything for a lot of good reasons. And that's why it's the responsibility, just like it is for me as a mandatory reporter with young people. If I know that a child is being abused, I'm literally like, I can be held accountable by the law for not saying anything. Yeah. You have to have that same sense of responsibility for anyone you know who is either being abused or is an abuser. Yeah. You know, there are always going to be violent, terrible people who do terrible things. Yeah. But the way there will be far less of them if we have more people who are willing to say something. Yes. And
if you see something, say something.
Yeah. And we could apply this to a spectrum of different things, from child abusers to so many things. But like, that's the biggest frustration for me with this specific circumstance, is that, you know, you see so many people now, like, and I watch them, like, you see all of these interviews on YouTube with people being like, yeah, I knew.
You're right.
Bruh,
what you mean
you knew this, you like, I'm not trying to, and
this?
let me be clear.
You slept at night?
Let me be clear that in as much as, like, listen, if you see a real domestic dispute happening in front of you, you have to be super careful with how you intervene, because you could get hurt too quickly. Those are the most dangerous interactions, right? Yes. But you have to, in the least, definitely call the authorities, or like, it's at a point where it's out of your control. Yes. You know what I mean? And I hate to be the person saying call the police, but like that is actually one place where I'm more comfortable.
Yeah.
Maybe not so much for black people, and
because at least it'll buy you time.
And,
If
like-
the police don't do something, it buys you time.
and it's I hate to be like I honestly I'm almost a little bit scared to say that, because we all know how the authorities can respond in a negative way, but like at some point we need help. I lost my train of thought because I had 16 thoughts at once about this whole situation. But the main thing is it's your responsibility to do something, and that's what it was. Even if I'm not going to jump in and try and break up a fight, very soon thereafter, I'm going to say something to several people, because that shouldn't happen.
Right.
And for you to watch that and just keep it moving is beyond something that I can comprehend, you know?
And I read the comments, and I think I'm going to get emotional, and that's okay. I read the comments, and the most triggering thing for me outside of watching what was happening was blaming Cassie for not speaking up or not leaving. And I can tell you, there have been 2 times in the last 10 years where, with 2 different men, and one I wasn't even dating, where I was put in a position where I was completely terrified. The first situation, I was afraid to tell because I thought I would lose my job. I thought I was going to lose my job. And y'all know I had my baby, my apartment. I was trying to take care of myself. And if I told them that this person was doing this to me, they would look at it, oh, well, y'all not supposed to be dating anyway. Instead of me protecting myself. I was just so scared of saying something.
I mean, just fundamentally, blaming a victim is just the most absurd thing ever.
But
you know?
People need to also understand why people don't tell. You know, there are so many different things that are affected when you're dating or when you're going. Like,
yeah, it's hard for me to like not see that as a duh, because I work, you know, in psychology and I counsel. So for me, I have to step outside of what my sort of training is.
And also,
but
as
it's
a
like
woman,
duh.
But also as a woman, we have, oh, you're a whore. Oh, you wanted it, or you just with him for your money, for his money.
But anyone who would say that, I mean, do women ever? You do have some females who are stupid enough to say that, but like, even like men, at some point, you have to realize that like there are a lot of assholes, a lot of asshole men. You know.
Wait, you have to remember, it's not just about that. It's the think of it. Put yourself in the victim's shoes, right? If I tell, he's going to say something else and put other thoughts in other people's minds, and then I'm going to have to combat that.
And it becomes a whole thing. I get it.
That's exactly.
I get it. I get that.
You know of one situation specifically.
No, but that's what I'm saying. I get it, but maybe because I work closer to that kind of a thing.
So you're the minority.
That's what I'm saying.
You know, everybody, no one.
Which is unfortunate.
The typical person is not going to think like that. So. Why didn't she just leave? Why didn't she tell? Because there are so many factors that not only are you in that moment getting punched in your face, but while you're being punched in the face, you're thinking about how your life is about to change if you decide to walk away, tell on the person, press charges, put your business out there. Like, there is so much, and the judgment and the shame. How could you be so stupid to let this happen to you? What made you think that this person was a good person? We told you. Like, now you're gonna be broke. Where you gonna live? The amount of things that you think about all while being abused, and then you're just in a state of shock.
Yeah, and again, for me as a man, even though I know that there are a lot of really terrible men who do things like that, it's still, even after like all the Me Too movement stuff, it still was shocking to me how many people, how many women in my feed were triggered by it, which points to the fact that men, we still don't really have a good concept of what it is to walk every day as a female. Because even now I'm thinking about, you know, when Taki brought me in to be one of the sort of safety sort of escorts for you guys walking around the city, like it really gave me, as a, you know, damn near 50-year-old man who's seen a lot,
You were very aware.
I was still like shocked, like, wow, this is really something that I never have to think about.
Yeah.
That you guys have to think about all the time.
And it's funny
because men are so ding dang aggressive.
It's funny you mentioned that because when we walked out of Soul Firm,
Yeah.
my spidey senses immediately I knew exactly where they were. Storefront.
Right.
Corner.
I don't even think
like
about
I'm not looking at them, but I can feel the eyes, and I'm like, okay,
Yeah.
I'm aware of my surroundings, and every now and then I look behind me. I'm
Right.
listening for footsteps while also talking to my girlfriend at the same time. Like,
and I tend to be on high alert just generally, but not to that degree. You understand? Like, and it's because I'm capable of number one, because let's be honest, women don't act like that. Like, we're just, men are more aggressive, and that's testosterone and all those things. But like literally, the opposite sex doesn't do that kind of thing. And also, mainly because I'm not worried about getting hurt. That's not to say I can beat up 6 men at one time, but like generally speaking, I can handle myself because I'm a male who is stronger. Blah 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 blah. And it's it's always, even though I know when you see it in real life, it's like, oh wow, that's really so far outside of my existence. You know what I'm saying?
And the other thing people forget about is, will this person hurt me to, like, will they kill me?
Mm-hmm.
Will they paralyze me? Will they break my jaw? Like, it's not just leaving, it's what happens after you leave. Will they stalk me? Like, let me tell you, and I hate to say this, but I don't think I've ever met a woman who hasn't dealt with a man stalking her.
Yeah.
I don't think I've ever met a woman who has not dealt with that. And the fear.
That's where I do
that
share
goes,
your pain. I get stalked often.
Your children don't count.
Go ahead.
Your children don't count. Right. You did that to yourself. Right. But the fear of the unknown is probably the worst. Like, at least I can, if you punching on me, I can see it. You know, I see it coming. I can prepare for it.
And even that, like,
when I know that you are in the shadows watching me leave work, when I can tell that you are following me on social media and checking everything, and also cross-referencing it with my friends, and then showing up at different places, the nail salon.
But
like,
even that is different. As I'm thinking through this, like, it's okay to get beat up as a man. Like, if I walk into work with a black eye, it's like, yeah, through hands, I got punched in the face. It's completely different for a woman. Like, it's completely different. Like, I'm just like, oh well, I ate that. You know what I'm saying? It's fine. You know.
Then it's the psychological part. I think honestly, the beating up is you getting beat up. You know, you can get beat up by your sister, and
but it's different.
But it's the psychological effect that it has on you, because then you're afraid of everything.
Yeah,
you're afraid of everything and everyone. The anxiety that it causes. I mean, even when you realize that person might be in the same room with you, that can trigger you. So for people to blame Cassie,
it's wild.
It's disgusting.
It's just yeah.
And you really need to look at yourself.
I mean, I don't know. I said, because Taki made a post, like, and this is the stupidest threat, but like, legitimately, if I am going through my social media feed and see anyone who's kind of empathizing with Diddy or giving Cassie any kind of flack for not doing something right, I'm just like,
you gotta go.
You gotta go.
You gotta go.
You know, and I'm not gonna be friendly with you in public. I'm not gonna talk smack or like try to pull up. But like, don't. We're not. We're not cool.
and on top of that, on our level, if I find out that you're friends with somebody like that, you're done. Yeah. That's it. We have nothing else to talk about, because if you can support them when they're doing that,
you're not safe around that person.
Exactly.
That's the bottom line.
Exactly. Right. And we have a lot of people that are like that, who will look past those things that you do to those women or those people just to be around them and to have access to what they have access to. No, you're trash. You're as trash as them.
And it's really important as men to, without trying to act like you're a cop, okay? Guys, you don't need to overdo it. But like, when I say that I'm always on alert, I am always pretty cognizant about any woman and children, looking like it's an ugly situation. You know what I'm saying? And actually, to this point, I think it was Tamara Morris made a post on social media saying that she was walking through Wilmington and some man who was actually smaller than her was like super following, stalking her as she walked down the street. And fortunately, someone who worked in one of the buildings, one of the security people behind the desk, saw it, came out and spoke up and helped with the situation. And that's the kind of thing that you got to do. Because let's be honest, most people who are creeps like that, when you call them out like bullies, they quickly scatter. They really don't want confrontation. So you just, as men, we have to always be mindful of that in all settings, and especially when there's alcohol, you're in the bar, like you really got to pay attention to someone who's potentially a dick, so that nobody gets hurt.
And to the women and men, or to people who are going through something like this, and you are fearful of just walking away or fearful of telling someone outright, there are very clever ways that you can let someone know you need some help. I actually, when I worked at TGI Fridays, I'll never forget, it was Valentine's Day, and this young lady slipped me a note and asked me to rush their food and to say that I received a phone call from her sister so she could leave without this man. I ain't asked no questions. I ain't asked not one question. I did exactly what she said and asked her, hey, we received a call, blah, blah, blah. And she was like, oh, okay. And she walked right out the door.
Yeah.
And I don't know what the story was or anything. And dude was shocked. But there are ways that you can seek help. Quickest way is Google. You can go online and ask, like, what are secretive ways to get away from your abuser or to let someone know you need help. Seek those out.
Man.
Seek those ways out.
Being repetitive for a good reason. Again, from my end, if you know somebody who is an abusive asshole, you have a responsibility to say something.
Yes,
and there will be a lot less Diddies if more people speak up.
Yep.
Yeah.
So I hope that she is at peace in some sense, because I know that it will never truly go away, but I hope that she's getting the help that she needs.
And you know what? She's also, it's kind of the opposite in that, like, honestly, and she is getting it in some ways, should be in a large degree viewed heroically. Because by her doing this, she has stopped this monster. Because please don't get it twisted, that's not the last time that he did that. Whatever you caught there was not the last time that he did that. I guarantee you that something like that has happened over the past year, 2 years. And I guarantee you that it would have continued until he dies. Had not someone had the courage to actually sue him and post the video. And so it's really the opposite. Give her some flowers and praise for saying, yo, this is a monster. Get him out of my face and out of the world's face.
And taking him for all he's worth, because that's what she deserved.
Like, come on, man.
And last thing, that apology, it was like staring in the face of the scared devil. He was not tore up and beat up about what he did to her. He was torn up and beat up that everybody else knew, and he could no longer live the life that he wanted to live. He was not sorry. He did not care. That was not a look of anguish, like, oh, I feel so bad for her. No, that was a look of a man who knows he's about to possibly go to jail, who's not going to be able to do what he wants to do to women anymore, whose secrets are coming out. That's the only thing he was sorry for.
We've talked about this before too. And I don't know, I can't expect everyone to be able to read faces.
He was blank.
But if you, like, if you really are in tune with human behavior, there are looks, and the same way that I'm able to clearly discern that Kanye West has some mental health issues that he's struggling with. You look at that video of Diddy offering his apology, and you just see a blank, vapid, just abyss of darkness.
Mm-hmm.
And it's like, you know, when you see those, like, what's the video or like the movie where you see the humans with just completely black
Yes.
eyes with no pupils? That's what it feels like you're looking
Those are
at.
demonic.
Yeah, it really felt like that. And you can just see that there's like just nothing behind there.
That was chilling.
And
to
it
watch.
was chilling, and it was, you can see it.
Yeah.
And that's all I needed. Like, you're looking
Yeah.
into the eyes of a monster, and that's plain and simple. Yeah.
Yep. It just.
Yeah.
Wow. Again, I just wish peace over her. I pray for peace over her and her family. I pray peace over all the women and men who are dealing with these types of issues in their relationships, in their lives, with people that they love and people that they dealt with, because it is terrifying, the psychological terror that you have when these types of things happen. And then also the family members who have to sit there and also endure, because I know that is just as painful to watch. So I pray coverage over all those folks, and to her and her family.
We're going to end this show on a high note. I got something for y'all, but yeah.
Oh, you do?
Yeah.
All right.
I do. I
well,
hope it works. The video. Two, we got one of the videos where one didn't.
Go ahead and do it then.
You want to say what's going on though?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Let's talk about what's happening around
No, not like that. We don't do it like that. Don't.
Around town.
All right.
We're going outside.
Let me know when you're.
Yeah, a little bit of rasp.
Yeah, it was well done. Sounds like you got allergies. Yeah.
Okay, so you're on Ty Mathis. So this Wednesday at 7 p.m. at the UAE, over on Walnut Street, Ty Mathis live at the Urban Artist Exchange.
I'll be there photographing.
Oh, ew. Next.
Yeah.
Sculpture Garden happy hours at the Delaware Art Museum, Thursdays, May 23rd through September 19th, 5 to 7:30. They have live music, right?
Yes, absolutely. I've done those a couple. I've done two of them. You helped me with one of them. Yeah, it's always a good time.
Go ahead. The Rum and Reggae Tiki Cruise is at 7 p.m. on Friday. Sorry. They have a bunch of dates. So I just want to make sure I get the most relevant one. Friday, May 24th at 7 p.m.
Okay. And we have this here. Go ahead.
You know I'm gonna do it. You know I'm gonna do it. Belafonte. It sounds so good. Belafonte. It's Belfont.
Holly Whitney will be there with the tie-dyes. Tie-dyes by Holly.
Belfont Arts Festival, May 18th. Oh, wait. That was last.
Here you go.
She was there. She was there, though. She was there.
Keep it moving.
But this Thursday at the Queen, one of their diverse picks, Parliament Funkadelic.
The Atomic Dog.
Featuring George Clinton with Dumpster Step.
I'm going to watch you figure this out.
Dumpster Funk.
There we go. Look at you. Look at you all hooked on phonics. Look at you hooked. Look at you.
You're so rude.
Yeah, we're going to have to play that back and slow that down.
Dumpster.
Yeah.
So yeah, that's what's going on around town.
All right. So let me cue this video up, and I'm going to pray to the gods that it loads up properly. So first, let me do this. I'm going to remove this, and maybe that was the problem.
Can
with the
you
first
just
one.
not talk through the whole thing?
No, what do you mean? Talk through the speech or right now?
I mean, we're
Listen,
3 years old. The least you could do is
this is how we do it. We do it our own way. So I'm going to.
This is how we do it.
Yes. As you all know, this is college graduation season, and there's been a lot of conversation about speeches, and I'm not even going to. What's the guy? Butker. What's the guy's name? But exactly. So he gave his speech, and there's a whole controversy that I'm sure everyone's aware of, and to me, his words were ridiculous. I understand that it was in a certain setting, so it's a more conservative space. But either way, kick rocks. The nuns have spoken. The nuns have a nun.
They're not like us. They're not like us.
Exactly. And so Biden spoke at Morehouse over yesterday. For that graduation, and I will say that he actually gave a really good speech.
Did you see the back of his head rubbed like he was a very stressed out black father.
Listen, that's a stressful situation.
Yo.
I will always. I've said this before. You're right. That is as of a stressful. I'm saying it all wrong, but that's as stressful of a crowd as you can be in front of. Okay. The reason that I am not afraid of any stage situations at this point in my life is because of singing at Morehouse with the Morehouse College Glee Club. Once you make any mistake, you get read, you get clowned, laughed at in the moment on the stage. And once that happens, everything else is downhill.
We need to bring the Glee Club to Delaware.
Listen, between I've been at the Apollo. I know that crowd, and that was scary. Singing in front of the Glee Club is scary.
You did Apollo?
The Glee Club sang at the Apollo.
Oh.
Yeah. But with that crowd. And so
yeah.
I actually cracked and got laughed at the so yeah. So I'm perfectly comfortable being trash on stage and eating it and keep it moving. I say all of that to say that another graduation speech was given at Clark Atlanta University on that same day.
Okay.
I encourage you to go to my page, and I'll put it on Naj and Jay's page too, so you can see the link to the full speech. This man, and I haven't seen all of the speeches, but I'm pretty comfortable saying that this is one of the greatest commencement addresses that has ever been given. I'm going to play you guys maybe the first 2 to 3 minutes of it. It's pure gold. I've watched it twice already. And I'm guessing that even these little 3 minutes that you're going to get is going to make you walk away feeling empowered and proud in many different ways.
All right, enough. Play it.
Enjoy, y'all.
Have a great week.
Here they come, y'all. Here they come. Here they come, y'all. Here they come. Here they come, y'all. Here they come. Doctors, lawyers, writers, business owners, teachers, healers, rappers, preachers. Here they come, y'all. Here they come. Psychologists and sociologists and anthropologists and ethnomusicologists and paleontologists. Here they come, y'all. Here they come. Anesthesiologists and cosmetologists, dermatologists and embryologists, ontologists, epidemiologists, ophthalmologists, radiologists, blackologists. Here they come, y'all. Here they come. Computer scientists, mechanical engineers, nurses, architects, radio, television, film producers, economists, accountants, marketing executives, chemists, business analysts. Here they come, y'all. Here they come. Musicians, mathematicians, astronauts, philosophers, pharmacists, dentists, historians, speech therapists, HR specialists, painters, dancers, actors, janitors, street sweepers, post office workers, plumbers, electricians, paramedics, bakers, construction workers, hairdressers, insurance agents, librarians, veterinarians, humanitarians. Here they come, y'all. Here they come. The dream of the slave, the hope of the angel, the promise of the ancestors, the answers to grandmama's prayers, the guarantee of granddaddy's work. Here they come, y'all. Here they come. The cure to cancer is sitting right here. The antidote for sickle cell anemia is sitting right here. The great negotiator of war and peace is sitting right here. The next generation of black billionaires is sitting right here. Here they come, y'all. Here they come. Listen, Clark Atlanta University, home of the Holy Ghost. Huh? Come on, somebody. Huh? Now this is how you know the Holy Ghost lives here. Because No way. But the Holy Ghost